Welcome to News Geelong on this cold and crisp Wednesday evening, as I'm sure the spirited opening has set the tone for tonight's program. The cold winter conditions did not deter the good crowds at the National Celtic Festival down at picturesque Port Arlington at the weekend. In the world of Geelong sport, the Flying Hawk Nathan Currie will update us with the latest, including a real blooper of an umpiring decision down at Colac last Saturday. Don't miss it. And in the wide world of winter weather, sparkling larni Salathiel will have the latest in predicted weather forecasts for the next few days. From September 29 to October 3, Geelong will host the 77th UCI Road Cycling World Championships for 2010, providing a wonderful showcase for the sport of cycling in Australia. This will be one of the largest events ever hosted in Geelong, and the road circuit has been carefully worked out. As the chair of the Major Events Committee at the City of Greater Geelong, Councillor Bruce Harwood explains.
We were able to catch up with Councillor Bruce Harwood, our Deputy Mayor, and he was able to take us through the course and the route that the cycling race will take in September.
This is the map for the Geelong Road Race course. This is the course that the women's and the men's under 23 race will be taking part on. This is the circuit. It's also the circuit that the men's road race will take place on, but that will start in Melbourne on the Sunday. Quite simply, the start finish, as we see here, is in Moorabool Street at Little Ryrie Street, right opposite the National Hotel and opposite the House of Golf, in that position there. So the race will start there. We'll come up Moorabool Street, over the hill, and down we come Moorabool Street, down towards the Moorabool Street Bridge, and we come across the bridge, and it's a hard right-hand turn at the Barwon Caravan Park. We come onto Barrelba Road. We're now following the Barwon River. We come along the Barwon River, along past the Barwon Valley Park, through to the main roundabout at Shannon Avenue. Through that roundabout, we continue on Barrelba Road, then it's a hard turn into Barwon Boulevard. This is where the race will really start, because this is an undulating road which has a few small hills. As we come across Barwon Boulevard, and we've turned left into Shallambra Crescent, we're now starting to climb up the hill. So we come up Shallambra Crescent, we come up to the steepest part of the circuit, which is into the ridge, and up to the ridge to the top of Scenic Road. Right-hand turn at the top of Scenic Road, and we're now on the descent down the hill. So cyclists downhill will be reaching between 70, 80, 90 kilometres an hour as they're powering down the hill. And we come down past the Queen's Park Golf Course and we approach the Queen's Park Bridge. As we approach the bridge, we take a sharp left through the car park and we'll cross over the river on what's called a Bailey Bridge, which will be built by the Army, and that will come across the river about here, cut back through the car park and the Zilla Crawker Reserve down there, and we pick up the Queen's Park Road, and we're up the hill again. Now up Queen's Park Road, past St Joseph's College, and continuing along the Fraser Street now, we cross over Shannon Avenue, continue past the schools, Sacred Heart and Geelong College, down to Packington Street, left into Packington Street, and again we're on the descent down into Packington Street. So Packington Street should be alive with colour and the restaurants down there and the little cafes. And as we continue down Packington Street, we're all the way down to Glenleith Avenue. A right-hand turn into Glenleith Avenue and over the bridge, what is called the Telegraph Bridge. We work our way down to the waterfront. Along the waterfront we come, again a slight descent down across the Esplanade, make our way down to the bottom of Moorabool Street, hard right-hand turn into Moorabool Street, and another climb back to the start-finish area. So it's got some quite interesting areas through the whole course, and this will be the finish after 9 laps for the men, and I think it's about 14 for the ladies. So it's quite a challenging circuit, and it'll be an interesting race from a whole range of perspectives where people might break away and people might try and make their break for glory.
Thank you to our Deputy Mayor, Councillor Bruce Harwood. Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you very much, Meryl, and to Councillor Bruce Harwood. Arthur Kipps, an attorney, has hired an actor to tell him the story about an experience from his youth. It is Kipps' hope that the telling of this story will somehow exorcise the experience from his mind and rid him of his persistent nightmares. So the story begins as a Geelong Repertory Theatre production of The Woman in Black, as Meryl Friend reports.
Geelong Repertory Theatre Company's next production is The Woman in Black, which actually has 2 male characters in it only. It opens on June the 25th and runs over 3 weekends here at the Woodbine Theatre in Coronation Street, Geelong West. You can get tickets at GPAC. Hey, now, I haven't seen this play before. Can you give our viewers just a little bit of a rundown of the storyline?
Sure, it's a ghost story. It's full of thrills and spills, but it's not a ghost story in the sense of modern ghost stories where you see lots of blood and see all the things happening. This is sort of more supernatural and more about using your imagination and implied things that are happening.
Well, I'm not really good with scary things. Will I be able to handle it?
I'm sure you will. So basically it's about a man, an older man who's had this experience in his childhood, and he's hired an actor to try and help him purge this experience from his life. So basically the play sort of unwinds slowly and then draws the audience into the experience and into the horror of the story. So it's a slow unwinding sort of narrative, but it's very exciting.
Suspenseful?
It is suspenseful, and I think that's what makes it really quite unique and really clever in that the actors just sort of create this story with basically a few props and a few costumes, and then, you know, the magic of theatre, we're drawn into the story.
It's been a really quite an arduous journey, I think, for both of us. There's a lot involved. We're always on stage, and we're stage hands and doing costume changes on stage. So,
yeah. Well, many characters as well?
Yes, I play, I think, 7, and each of these have to be differentiated with clothes or voice or some way, and all of the elements that are part of that change are all on the stage somewhere. And it can be, as Ubi says, it's a very complex acting role, I think, for us.
And you're looking quite sprightly in your gear and with your facial hair. Is this coming along just for these performances?
No, this is how I look all the time. Yeah, it is coming along. It's kind of fairly ambiguous, I think. The screenwriter Stephen Mallatrat does point out that there are anachronisms in the play, and so we're kind of a bit Victorian, a bit kind of turn of the century, and a bit after as well, so it's a bit mixed up, which is how it's supposed to be, I think. So we're kind of supposed to look a little bit like each other.
Okay. Meryl Friend from the Woodbine Theatre, News Geelong.
Thank you very much, Meryl. Outpost Geelong is a homeless food service operating with a fundamental belief that people would like to make more of a difference in our community. Again, Meryl Friend reports.
We're here at the Outpost at 2 Transit Place on the corner of Transit Place and Clare Street, and they provide lunchtime meals and evening meals 5 days and 7 days a week. They've just celebrated their 20th birthday.
Yes, we're here mainly for the homeless with food and accommodation, but anyone that's in really poor circumstances, we'll give them a meal and whatever else they need. Yeah. So it's really just for those people right at the bottom end of the pile that really are struggling. Yeah.
You were saying before that a yearly number would be about 20,000 people coming through the doors. 20,000
client contacts, yes. Some of those would be repeats because some people need help for a long while. But 20,000, which means 20,000 meals that we've provided for people that are really desperate.
So you have lunches here 5 days a week and evening meals as well?
Yes. 11 till 2 weekdays for lunch, and 7 till 10 in the evening for the evening meal. Yeah.
Here at 2 Transit Place, the Outpost, Meryl Friend, News Geelong.
Thank you, Meryl. This is News Geelong as we go to a break and return with more news after this.